notice, but want to welcome you to another edition of Halftime Chat. And I've got a good friend and a guest, Mr. Jonathan Mookie Morant, who has been on twice before. He has gone from being a musician, drummer, producer to now an author, and he's first had his first book that came out, which was The Happy Has Been, and just recounting his days within the music industry. But he's got a new book now that, well, I'll let him talk about it. But it's about something that's really close and passionate to his heart. So I'm just going to bring in Mookie, and then we'll start the chat. Hey,
Brother,
how you doing?
I'm great, man. It's great to see your sweet face. I miss that face, man. That's a good face right there. Oh man, so good to see you, Namdi.
Yes. What have you been? I mean, the last we was chatted is when you were promoting the Happy Has Been. How has that gone?
So let me catch you up to date, man. It's been it's very akin to my days of old, like where I'm just coasting along, then suddenly a whirlwind. Like the first 3 months, well, started towards the end of the year, but essentially January 1, the book dropped on Amazon, and it's just been just a whirlwind. So here's the quick version. January 1, the Happy Has Been drops, and I'm just like throwing my hands up. Well, we'll see what happens. It literally enters at number 1 on multiple Amazon charts. So
Wow.
there's that. And so after that, I got together with all my music brothers, from Donnell Jones to my brother Buddy, Jace from Soul for Real, like all the guys. Mary Brown, like we connected and just kind of went on this book tour, but really it was musical people hooking up. It was kind of a weird combination that was great. And the book is still a baby, so it's very weird. It's a different kind of situation because the book just came out. Like if you think about books have, you know, should anyways. My plan was, like 1 year, 2 year, 5 years, trying to be the alchemist. Where in the sixth year it just took off.
Mm.
I didn't expect this type of reception out the gate. So kind of, I'm still catching up to some of it, but it's still there. It's going good. We're still on the hunt and doing the thing and now strategizing. So that was that. Um, I should say this. I'm very blessed. My city, my hometown of Charleston, which is a very, popular city in the States. I was voted best author by one
Wow.
of them. Yeah, this makes, listen, you said it best. I was this music guy, and suddenly, the things have shifted. Although I'll tell you, my parents, and particularly my mom, reminded me that I had always been a writer. I was a songwriter, so I get it, but I just didn't see it coming. So the Happy has been just a blessing. It's resonated with people, not only people here in the States, but people all over the world, man.
Wow.
And just positivity and my 6 degrees of connection theory about human connection, just like me and you. We might be, what are we, 3,000 miles? I don't even know, 6,000 miles, but we are connected right here, right now. So, and just happiness. And it's been quite a run that's still just getting started.
Wow. I
So,
mean, what's the thing that's sort of surprised you the most about the book, The Happy Has Been?
well, the first thing that was unbelievable is that, first you
I've,
helped
we've
me. Let
got
me just say, let me
we've
give you a
got
shout
Tanya
out.
in here, so.
Oh, Lady T. What up, Lady T? That's my person right there. Thank you for jumping in. We know it's like 90 o'clock where you're at. You don't have to stay here. I'm just glad to see your face. Oh, well, see your chat. She actually helped me get into all this stuff, but that's another story. But when we were launching the book, me and you got together. We had a combination of ideas of what to do. And this leads into the answer to your first question, and you just was like, well, look, maybe you can get, a couple of your friends in the music business. And by the way, at that point in time, I hadn't reached out to anyone. No one knew about no book. And music people are music people. I mean, yes, they do books, all this stuff. But, if they're going to hear from Mook out of the blue talking about a book, how's that going to work? But you said reach out. So I reached out to some friends and they all showed up. which because you helped me produce the whole production. So that was incredible. Like that was the first thing that kind of was a shocker and gave me an indication maybe that maybe this might not be a stretch. So I put the book out. Of course, it came out the week after the pre-orders came out, started the week after my mom passed. So it was tough. It was a tough moment, but I knew that, I had to lead. I'm the legacy work now. So it was important. Fast forward, everything that I could have dreamed to happen happened. I ain't been on Oprah yet, but I got NAMD. But so the book is resonating. I have gotten so many messages, personal messages, public messages. It's got like 150 plus 5-star reviews on Amazon, which is, if you look, that is immense. Like if you get 20, you're like, woo. And usually, 5 stars, you're not all going to get 5. And frankly, I probably wouldn't give myself all 5, but it's just really something about it. I can't even explain. It's really resonated with people besides, the stories of me in the music business. But what I was hoping to accomplish was to spread like real happiness that isn't based on having these plaques or having all the things happen, because the things happen and then they happened in the past tense. We're still here. So what's next? Do we struggle? Yes. But can we be happy through it? Yes. At least that's my experience. And I just wanted to share it. And it seems like it's cool. It's working and it's good. People are they're in there with me. And that Mook Face Challenge, did you see that? What about that? Look, hundreds. Oh man, when we put that thing on Times Square billboard, something me and Buddy are working on this. When we get that up there, man, it's gonna be crazy. We're gonna try and like do a slow scroll of hundreds of people doing the Mook Face Challenge. It's been so it's crazy, man.
So then, what did releasing the book and the whole journey? I thought you'd be like, okay, that's finished. I'm done. Let me go back into either speaking or my music. But what did that lead to now?
Very good. So very good. The truth is, I didn't know the joy in the excuse me. Joy is not even the word. The depth of the experience itself of writing. I didn't realize what it would end up being, because I just, so many times in my life, especially when I was younger, I'm just doing the thing. I didn't know how or what. I just started writing. But I have a pretty decent memory, and it all, not just the stories themselves, but the experience, almost as if I was reliving it. I was able to, there's something that would flow and capture. I was able to capture in the writing process that I enjoyed just as much as when I was in those studios for those 16, 18, 20-hour days with Eddie F. or my man Trey Lorenz or whoever it was. And it's lit a fire in me. So now I got about 4 more books in the queue, half written already.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think I'm taking this author thing seriously. Let's put it like that. So I love writing, man. And the fact that it's actually resonating with people is a dream come true. So
what's the most recent book then that you have out now?
Okay. Excuse me. So now this is, this is going to bring some emotion. So bear with me. And also it's not necessarily the happy Mookie, although it is ensconced in joy. I'll bring you back to what happened a few weeks ago. So a dear friend of mine who's a DJ in South Carolina, one of the top DJs, it's like a DJ collective, top guys. One of them and his wife lost their 18-month baby boy suddenly overnight. And, this broke my heart, broke the community's heart. And he asked if I would show up at his the funeral. And so I went. I'm not, I've missed a lot of, I missed my own grandma's funeral. So I'm not really a funeral guy, with all due respect. But I needed to be there for these beautiful people. And in this experience, through the tears and the shaking and everything, my friend Tony, he shared something that really hit home at the most important time in the decision time about this new book. He shared about letting things go and how today is the day. And that's my mantra. No tomorrow, none of this one day I'm gonna. There's no gonna. It's now. When you get there, I always say, even though there is a tomorrow, when you get there, it's gonna be now. So do everything now. If there's something in your heart, something that is who you are, be it now. Don't put it off. Strategy be danged, because there's no strategy for what life is going to decide for you. So what you got now, move to it. So all that said, I had been writing this particular set of passages since before my son Rōman was born, which was 6.5 years ago. The book is called, here, I'm going to show you right here. I'll hold it up for people. I think it's in the background there too. It's called Letters to My Son Rōman, Love on the Spectrum. It's a coffee table book, unlike the big mammoth beast of a book The Happy Husband was. I'm so thankful that people actually read it to the end, because it was a big one. But this one is, and it has pictures. It's very brief. You sit down in one setting and in less than an hour and read it. But after I experienced that with my friend Tony, I knew that it was time to release this book. I had been writing it for 6 years, and frankly, it was ready. I had initially planned to put it out no earlier than a year after The Happy Husband, because, strategy, you don't want to step on the toes of one thing where you're doing it, but that's fine sometimes. But it just, something moved inside of me that said, I need to speak about this, because this is the life that I live now with my son Rōman, who is on the spectrum and who is
How old is he?
Rōman is 6.5 years old.
Okay.
Yeah. So the book is essentially a collection of my letters that I'd been writing to him before he was born, before we got the diagnosis even. And so you will see in the journey through these writings how you'll experience the entirety of it, because at first we didn't realize he was going to be diagnosed with autism, much less nonverbal. So the letters take you there up until the past few months, right before I stopped writing.
Wow. So how old was he when he got his diagnosis?
He got his diagnosis, and it's actually in the book. It was, actually, I want to say it was between 18 months and 2.
Wow.
So it was in that somewhere.
Wow. I mean, over here in the UK, they won't probably diagnose that early. They probably, they probably wait until about at least 4 or 5, unless. But then again, you said he's nonverbal, so they probably would have noted. They would have had a sense.
Yeah, because we did, Rōman's mom was in the medical field. Rōman's whole mom's side of her family, her mom was also in the medical field, and was attuned to recognizing there were some things that weren't occurring. And now I'm a dad of, I'm a dad of 33 years. So I recognize 33.
You're doing a Nick Cannon here, okay?
No,
33 years, not
33. Five children. 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But so she recognized some things and brought her to the hospital here, which was MUSC, which is one of the most esteemed children's hospitals in the country and in the world. Happens to be here in Charleston, South Carolina. So we did all the testing. His hearing, there was no issue there. None of those. There was no other issue. And did a series of tests, and the diagnosis came. And then over time, it became, he was nonverbal. So, but in this, so in this book, you'll take the journey. But what more than, well, first, let me back up. Let me share with you the good news. And I'm proud of it, because it is my boy. My boy. So this book, the pre-orders came available 2 weeks ago. And then when as an ebook, as a Kindle ebook, and it shot right to #1 on 2 different charts, which is amazing. But then I'm nervous. I'm like, well, that's not what it's about. But yes, that is what it's about, because awareness. So put the spotlight on the book if it can give us an opportunity, a platform. So then just Friday night at midnight, basically Saturday morning, the full release was done a few days ago. And again, the book, it sits right now on the Children's with Disabilities charts on Amazon at #1, where it's been since it entered. And that's, So I'm proud of it because it's my boy. It's like my boy, my Rōman is number one. And that's not in the country, that's in the world. So let's just keep it straight. But the reason it's important to me is because there has to be more dialogue about those who can't dialogue, especially children. There's a passage, I don't want to give it away in the book because I want everyone to be able to enjoy the read, and it's a very short read. But there's a passage where I share that the experience in a very deep way on what the challenge could be when you're 5 years old and you can't speak to your mom or dad. It's not, that's no easy road. And that pangs me because I also say that, it's not just him. It's not the person, the subject that's on the spectrum. It's the family. I call them autism families. If Rōman or me or if we are nonverbal, the whole family is, because we all have to adjust our lives and should to that experience. So I don't know. I don't have all the stats. I don't have the clinical or necessarily the scientific understanding, but I have a big fat mic and pen, and people are paying attention to me. So I was like, there's no need to wait. This is going on now, and it's millions. There are 20 to 30%, and this might be the only stat I know, but it's an important one, of the entire autism community. Those are millions and millions of people. 20 to 30% of those are nonverbal. Now you put yourself in that space. Me with my running mouth, that'd be it. I'd have to go to the sunset because I wouldn't survive it. Yet this boy has taught me more about freedom and pure joy, like a little child. Children, they're free. They're not bogged down with the things that we add to our lives, whether they're racism or cultural divides or differences. These kids, they're going to live their life. Rōman is not going to be moved by what you're wearing. Rōman's not going to be moved by how flossy you are, which, hey, I'm all about it. I come from an industry that we do our thing. I'm about the fashion. So with no disrespect there. But what I'm saying is this. There's a freedom in being not, I got to be careful with this because I am trying to, start a foundation, get money to assist families. It's not just nonverbal. There's all forms. That's why they call it the spectrum. There's all forms of autism. But in the case of children, particularly that are nonverbal, as there's a freedom that we can learn from. They're not experienced. The anxiety comes from the world they live in, or at least in my experience with Rōman. He can be anxious sometimes, which is fine because all kids are. Let's be honest. I remember being anxious when I was a kid for different reasons, but only because he's accustomed to a particular set of routines. Which, for anyone who lives with anyone who's autistic or is familiar with it, I posted up something about Fat Joe, whose son is autistic, and he was talking about there's something about this tennis ball, and he go everywhere. It's like his comfort thing. Well, my Rōman's is his this one is his iPhone. I kid you not, because he watches his YouTubes. Just, in repetition. He took a class picture. I have it over here. I'll send it to you. Maybe we could put it in here. But they gave up. It was like they let him put his class picture in so he has his phone next to him, and he's smiling. They couldn't get him to smile. They couldn't get him to take the picture. But once he held his phone, he did it. So that's his comfort zone. But I'm getting a little bit lost in what I was saying. I think I just want to say that there is a joy. There's a freedom that allows a joy when they're not bogged down by, frankly, the things that we put on ourselves as we're hustling and bustling through society, of which I do too. I'm working on it. I'm learning, and I'm learning from him.
Yeah. I guess, what type, when you have a child who's autistic, what types of adjustments do you as a parent have to make? Because if you look back at your other 4 children who weren't on the spectrum, is there a sense of, man, we're going to, you're working differently, harder? Was there a sense of, I'm going to model parent the same way I already parent for the other 4? And is this harder? What's that like?
Great question. So This is where, every time I could get emotional. So bear with me. So I have 5 children. I've, again, for 33 years, I've been actively raising my kids along with their moms. But Rōman is the firstborn, only son, only child of his mom. So for me, there's not so much different. Your attention level better not dwindle, because, again, not being able to speak, all kinds of things could take place. So you have to be extra aware. However, I would say for mom, it was the part that was challenging at first. Just having to know that, she doesn't have, like, her only child can't say mama, can't say, hey mom, can we, that one, I had to kind of deal with that, and I only imagine what she would have to deal with. But like I said about her, she's very strong, and she comes from a whole field of the medical world to where she's okay. And I'll tell you this, the communication might not be words, but man, there's nobody on the planet that little boy loves more than his mama, and everyone knows it. That's his comfort right there. So as for the challenges, they're a lot, because he has tics, at different things that he'll do that might be out of frustration because his phone ran out of charge. So you have to keep, let me tell you, over there where he's at with his grandmom and them, they got like 4 phones so that if one runs out, they got another one. And when he's with me, I know that he's getting my phone when his battery runs out on his, because without it, he's upset. You notice the differences. So working with that, he's working on being able to use the potty. 6.5 years old, but it might take, who knows? I have a dear friend of mine who's also working with me on the foundation. His boy is 19 years old and still have to do diapers. So there's real world challenges that you couldn't even imagine if it was you. So it's real. But at the end of the day, I don't want to be too dark about this, because I'll share. This book isn't about that. It's really about calling attention to the love and the uniqueness that is the sweetness. That's what I say. That uniqueness is the sweetness, because I tell you, while challenging in this 6.5 years, and no disrespect, Christian, Mercy, Sophia, Savannah, my other 4 kids, I have not known a love deeper and a joy deeper than the relationship that I have. Our communication surpasses words. I know that might sound corny or whatever it is, but it's a fact. And if you saw us engaging, you would agree.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned the other 4. How do they feel about having a younger brother who's nonverbal, and what's that relationship like?
Well, I mean, they love him. They adore him. It's so weird, the full circleness, especially of my oldest boy, Christian, and Rōman. They were so similar, with 28 years between them. Even their visage, even the way they look, and some hair and all these different things. Yet they're very different, in terms of that. My other kids, man, they came out the womb talking trash. So where's the money? But they love him, man. They adore him. They're sad because they don't get to see him a lot. I mean, I got one just graduated, another one on the trail to graduate, and my oldest boy, he's gone. My Mercy turns 25 tomorrow. So so it's a spread. So they get to see him a lot. But that's why I'm always taking pictures and, videos, and so they get to experience that. They love him, though. They love him. He's one of us.
Yeah. What's the aim then for those who do get the book? I mean, the tick is there where you can order it through your website, thehappyhusband.com.
Absolutely. And through Amazon. I even, I don't hate on Amazon. Amazon's been good to me. So go on Amazon, get it. It's fine. The more people get it on Amazon, the more awareness there is. So I'm good with that. Or else go to my website. That's perfectly fine. That'll navigate you to both spots. But I'm going to be honest. I put it out because my heart, how close we are, and what it means to me to share with people, so that there isn't there's a stigma. there's a stigma with a lot of special needs families. I don't like this thing. I never have. It's always rubbed me wrong. And now I get to be one of these part of one of these unique families. Well, let's go. I don't know. I'm not going to be quiet about it. I'm going to speak about it. I'm going to share the love. And so we started a foundation. The nonprofit will be up soon, called Rōman's World, to where the goal is to assist families directly. No red tape. I'll leave that for the bureaucrats and the politicians, of which I'm not one, maybe one day. But where we're going to raise money. We're doing an event tomorrow to kick it off, and there'll be some things I'll share with you, make sure we're in the loop. We're going to raise money to assist families directly, because the truth is, had Rōman's mom and her family not be able to get him into this incredible program, Project Hope, in Greenville, South Carolina, which there's a 2-year waiting list, just to let you know. But had they not been able to assist with that, we don't know. It costs to deal with the challenges, and you can only imagine, especially me being a minority, the minority community usually gets the hard end first. So there's people out here who have situations or children who are on the spectrum but can't get access to programs, and programs cost money. So, I don't know what I have, but I do have a microphone. So I'm going to shed some light. And now I have books. So it's a platform, hopefully. And also maybe you'll enjoy the book. I'm hoping. Yeah. I put my heart into it.
Yeah. So diagnosis, there's probably an average of a 2-year waiting list to get diagnosed here in the UK.
It's a problem.
Just because, I think just because there seems to be, I wouldn't say an epidemic, but it seems to be a spike in the number of children born that are autistic. A lot of it is hereditary. So if you're autistic, and then there's the likelihood that one of your children can be autistic or have ADHD. But I don't know what is really happening. As I'm not one of those conspiracy theorists to say it's in the water or the vaccines
Right.
or whatnot. But I do know, as a children's mental health therapist, that the number of children that we're seeing getting referred for autism assessments and support have almost tripled in the past 5 or 6, 7, 10 years, and no one's explaining to us why. And what I do tell parents when they're on the process of trying to get a diagnosis, I tell them getting a diagnosis helps you to understand why your child is different, and helps maybe their school system and on the community understand. But that's in a diagnosis in itself doesn't change anything.
Right.
It is about what you guys as a family and maybe the school system do to support being autistic. From what I've been learning and all the different courses that I've been on, it means that they see the world in a different way than the rest of us.
Yes.
And normally there's a sense and a push for everyone to conform, to say, this is how we see it, so everyone needs to see it the same way. But what you have to start to learn is that, they see the world in this way, and it isn't wrong how they see the world. It's about, let's try and meet somewhere. And maybe as you get older, with some of them who are a lot more, who are verbal and who aren't as severe, are able to say, okay, I see it this way, but I can understand why you guys see it that way, so I can compromise. But there's going to be a lot more that will say, no, I see it this way, and that's all how I see it. So everyone else needs to be empathetic and sympathetic and supportive of things that way.
Eloquent, man. I mean, you nailed it. We tend to, it's almost like anything else in society, our way, what we know, that's what's right, or this is how it is. But if anything, through the darkness of the struggle that it can come with certain parts of the challenges, I'm hoping this book of letters just shares there is a brightness, because there's something in the way of love that can connect through all of this. I go back to the first book, The Human Connection. There's something, if we allow it to be and not be so rigid, and like you said, and just kind of be open to new understandings, something that any of these children or full adults see a different way. You might learn something, by the way. I'm learning myself. I'm learning how to not be so inhibited or just too into myself. I want to see things in an open way and be accepting. I've always wanted that. Man, with Rōman, I'm like, I watch him. You can just be free and be happy and like that. You got your iPhone, you listen to your YouTubes, you're happy. Let's go. I want to be that. It's a simple thing, but we could use a dose of it. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Have you tried to get? I know that you're into your drums. Have you tried to get him into music?
Oh, great! Ooh, I would leave that out if I'm so used to music. I forget to mention. So watching him grow up, one thing he loves music. I have my little fake keyboard closet, studio closet over here. He would run to that no matter what. So that makes sense. He loves music. He's all about it. So I hope to develop that. We're 3.5 hours apart now, since they moved to Greenville for this program. So it's not as, I see him, as much as I can. But he's definitely a music guy. So I'm gonna, by nature, will do all I can. And I have musical friends who will jump in there. My brother Buddy is all like, we're talking about some different possibilities of helping in terms of the programs. But they're, I'm not going to be shy about this one. I'm TLC. I ain't too proud to beg when it comes to this. All of these things, all of these programs, all of the access takes money. That's why we talk about the privilege. Well, here's where privilege makes a difference. When you have the access, you get the programs. When you don't, you don't. And without those programs, Rōman is starting to progress. He can mimic some words now. He's still nonverbal. He's not going to have a conversation. He's not going to say a sentence to you or have a dialogue, but we're making progress. Without the programs, without the wonderful counselors and all this, it's a wish, And like you said, the numbers are exorbitant. They're incredible. They're growing. They're rapidly growing.
Yeah.
So, and again, we're talking about, they're not all children, but because of the way things are being diagnosed now, you're seeing it in children more because the diagnoses are coming. So a lot of this revolves around children. So I'm here to toot the horn. What you asked originally, what people can do, just stay tuned. Check. Stay tuned to the website. Stay tuned to you because I'll keep you posted. Get on my Facebook. I'm just Jonathan Mookie Morant. My Instagram. Follow me there because I'm going to put up every step of the foundation's progress because we're here to raise money for autism families. That is the number one goal as a platform for the book. Otherwise, I just want you to read it and let it move you and send me a message and tell me what you think. Because there's more in store. We're going to do a children's series based on Rōman in the foundation called Rōman's World, where proceeds go to the foundation. So we're going to be off to the races with this because it really matters to me.
Why did you start writing letters? Were you writing when you knew you were going to have a child, or when you knew you were going to have a boy? What was the situation?
Well, I'll touch on a couple things, but I won't give away everything because I want them to enjoy this experience from this book. But also for those who, the book the Happy has been received, but there's multi droves of millions who haven't read it. But I'll explain. So before he was born, right before that, I had a medical scare of a lifetime. And if those who know. So I'll leave that there. Like right before he was born, I'm talking a month and a half. And it repurposed and repositioned my priorities in my heart and in my mind of, being focused. So I just thought, because I was 50 years old then. I'm 56 now. I'll wear it well, I know. But the thing is, when you get my age, you're not the same flash of the pen young kid doing all the things. I'm thinking about my children and legacy work, which is why I wrote the first book. But I thought about Rōman coming, this medical scare, who knows? So let me he has to know his dad loves him. So I began there. And just, I start, all the letters aren't in the book because, I don't want, some, but I began writing and never stopped for 6 years. And I just felt that it would be apropos to share this so that they can understand my journey in his world, but also understand his, through the eyes of me, some of the just regular old love, just the normal, non-unique love of a parent and their child, and the experience that's there. We all, those of us who have children, we or have are the children themselves. We all have a connection. But again, with the stigma, you would think, like, people often think, well, how do you communicate? You can't talk, or all these things. Sure, a blind person can't see. How do they do anything? Well, let's talk to Stevie Wonder. He'll let you know real quick from the music world. So I just kind of wanted to share the beginnings because he's still just a little boy and we're all hoping for the progress. But should he remain, he is beauty in and of itself already. I'm working hard. His mom and his family and the community and the Project Hope Academy and all of these programs are working hard to help build him into life, because one day I won't be there. One day mom won't be there. So we want progress, but we love him like he is right now. And his differences are, beautiful. So
yeah. Did you were you just writing as a father to a child? Did you know you were going to have a boy? Because
good.
you say you wrote a month. Did you write it after when he was born, or the month before he was born?
Good. So here's what happened. We knew he was going to be a boy.
Okay.
Oh, also there was a scare with Rōman. There was a scare with him. He came early. He came considerably early, like over a month early. So, all the things had to be in place. We had to know what was going on. So his mom found out. We found out he was going to be a boy, and I just loved him before he got here. I just couldn't believe that here I am, 50-year-old man that's seen the world and done all the things and came through this incredibly scary medical scare, and I'm getting to meet my boy. I wanted to tell him something.
Okay, so that's when you started writing.
Yes, but I didn't. I kept writing, and you'll see the progression in the reading. It's a small book. Look at that thick thing, and it's this. Yeah. So I mean, you can sit down and read it. You'll see the progression in how it developed, and then when we got the diagnosis and all that. But not a moment of love lost.
So that's what I was going to ask. Did with people, would we notice a change in what you wrote after he was officially diagnosed?
It's weird. You won't see a change in my approach because I'm just like a teddy bear with love for these kids. But you will. There are things within my writings that I express, and it is very evident that it's based on the uniqueness of Rōman and the diagnosis, not just the diagnosis, but now life on the spectrum.
How do you go about not creating Joseph and his multicolored rainbow coat, where his brothers are like, "Oh, your dad's favorite," and start to feel so? How do you? Because you here you are, you're writing letters. The others will say, "Well, I didn't get a letter from Dad." You're now writing a book, and Dad never wrote a book about me. You're setting a foundation. Well, Dad's never set a foundation for me. You go around the world and really pushing the last word. So, I mean, how do you go ahead and create a sense of, hey, kids?
First, let me say,
he's not my favorite. He is my favorite because I'm actually expressing it.
First, I have to say, Namdi is a troublemaker right here, right now. Doggone it! I'll have a better, truthful, honest answer for you the next time we meet. Thank you, Namdi. You really did that one. But no, seriously, like my kids, man, they're a mess like that. They're much less a mess, but they're lovers, man. They love that boy, and they understand not only they understand the importance of this book and the foundation and the importance of what the awareness we're trying to join in and help bring to the party, to the autism party, to the spectrum. And they're 100% behind it. They joke and be like, "Oh, we know." Well, but here's the thing. That's kids. They used to do that. They used to do that about Sophia. Oh, we know who the favorite is because whatever. But I love all these guys. I love them, and I love everybody's children. That's just who I am. I'm the lover of, I love children, man. But yeah, they'll probably be. Anyways, next question. Thanks, Daddy. Oh, I wasn't ready for that one. Edit.
Okay. Well, as I said, I've put the details of the book there,
Please.
and as I said, and hopefully, as I said, people as they're tuning in, even though they watch this on repeat, they'll still see it. And I've actually put it in the description.
Yeah, because I need it. I'm going to share it with everybody.
Yes, yeah. I guess then, just slightly away from the book. Then we always touch on the fact that you came from a background of music, first as a playing with your brothers, and then becoming a producer, part of the Untouchables and stuff. Has that gone away? Have you ever been tempted to get back into the studio and create music or any of that?
Great question. Son, I'm just moving too fast. So I had to kind of become resolute with the fact that, okay, I'm going to do all the things. And I don't believe in gonna, but I know that I can't do everything at once. You're going to be in one place at one time. But the answer is, man, I'm going to be on this music vibe. Me and Donnell are already talking. Oh, believe me, it takes time because other things happen. This book happened. He's doing things. Listen, Eddie, my mentor, DJ Eddie F, is on the cusp of, well, I don't want to give it away, but let's just say there's some music that's been floating around that everybody's been just fiending for. Well, they might get ready to get their fix. My brother's intro, I mean, it's all there. I have a dear friend of mine on the other side, my brother Brad from LFO, who's on the pop side, and also another dear friend of mine, Keith McGuffey. Keith has worked with the Backstreet organization forever. There's one of the guy's best friends, Kevin Richardson, and he's like a brother to me. We've been talking about revisiting some music. Everybody is loving the 90s more and more every day, and that's where, so on the R&B and on the pop side, don't be surprised at all. I'm not going to let that. I can't wait to get back in the studio. So don't worry.
You say it as if you have to travel to India to get in the studio. Don't you have to just stuff at home? Can you just make some production?
You're right. Hey, who's to say I don't have music? Wait, Namdi, who's to say? All I'm saying is, I love the theater. I love the theater. But that's one thing about writing that's even better than even speaking. Oftentimes, you could do your thing. You could theatrically roll it out. So let me enjoy this, please. Let me enjoy this. But yes, there will be music. There will be reunions. There will be merch, maybe tours. I mean, listen, I'm that guy who knows. I just don't want to spill everybody else's beans. But you're gonna see Mook.
Yeah, I've just been talking to Tim Kelly from Tim and Bob.
Legend. Legend. They're right in Atlanta.
Yeah, and he's he's been it's of course, like any other music creator, when you create a great track with an artist and it doesn't make the album, but you still have the track sitting in your vault. So he's been releasing snippets in there. I know you can't. I think there.
Did you hear Eddie's joint? Did you hear the intro joint that me and Eddie did? Oh, he teased it out there. I'll send you the link. Oh, son. Okay. It's one we had. It's been in the vault, and it's one that kind of got leaked all over the world. People have been asking for this. So the ask might be about to be answered. But he leaked it, man, and it's beautiful. He tagged all us in it. Like, anyways.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it. And my brother Donnell, man, come on.
Yeah, I knew he was. What was the name of? He was working on an album when I.
Yeah, he did 100% free. He did that on his own.
Yeah, he had a. What was it? He had a name. I can't remember.
I'll have to holler at him.
I'll look at the interview. He had a name for it. He was supposed to.
Yeah, let me say, shout out to Donald Jones, also Buddy White of Intro. Those are my brothers. They've been there. They have never left my side, even when I was in recluse. And now we're I mean, every other day there's some form of communication, or if we're even on social media, whatever it is. Stay tuned, man. I'm really focused on kind of the missions. I don't want to be dark with it, man. I'm the happy guy. I'm the happy husband. I'm really focused, but music brings me to life, man. So I'm gonna tell my dad did music to the end. He did not slow down at all. 80 plus. I'm a baby, 56. I got a lot to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
what about your brothers? Do you guys did they ever play? Do you guys ever play together?
My brother Joe, let me talk about Joe Jr. He's like a little behind the scenes TV star. He's on all of these shows. He's an actor. He does mostly kind of side acting, but he's on shows that you would know. Why am I drawing a blank? I'm talking about I'm drawing a blank because I'm not a big TV guy, but shows you would know, like real famous Law and Order. I mean, the list is endless, and new movies coming out. So he's doing a thing. My younger brother Obi has actually moved into a foundation, running my dad's foundation, which is to help in the music field. By the way, provide things for all the classrooms for, let's just say, the communities that don't have access, my community. Yeah. So he's been working on that. My other brother, G, he puts out music constantly. As far as a reunion there, man, as long as we breathing, you know what I'm saying? If I get the green light, I'm gonna make it happen. So
are you saying
could happen? I know Bob Celestin will love that.
So what instruments? I know you on the drums. What about the other three? So what were they on?
So my brother G, he could hold down the guitar. They're all multi. They're multi. I could play a little bass and a little guitar too. So we'll kind of mix it up. My brother Joe, he's a singer. So and then it won't just be us. I'll get some of my people. Come on.
No. So
I know, saying that I know some musicians.
Yeah.
I know some music people.
Yeah, well, it would be funny. It will be great to be able to see the four brothers.
Yeah.
Just playing, just vibing off some stuff like that.
It'll be a dream, man. Well, you know what's funny? I don't think about it that often. But you, man, you're like my little secret sauce, because every time you give me an idea, I run with it. Like the last time, and it worked when we was releasing the book. So, man, I need to think about this.
Yeah,
I think a few people would like that.
Especially if you're trying to make a big promotion, just being able to have a family reunion. You get the family together and just jam. I think I'm just finished rewatching the 5 Heartbeats and how they all came together and
at the end, right? Finally,
yeah. And so just having something like that's really nostalgic, and it just it really opens doors, because it's not like you asking them, let's go on tour or anything like that, but it's you really want to.
We end up fighting. No.
Yeah.
Well, Bob, I'll tell you, Bob. And I don't mean to cut you, but Bob, I was with Bob when the first book was out. We did a little New York tour, and we sat in the office, and Bob was like, "Yo, I got that. If we want to do that," he still has all the people still reach out to Bob. I'm not making this up. In fact, you'll see it on social media. People share the Redbone music. I mean, it just shows up in different parts of the world, and they reach out to Bob. They even try to reach out to me to say, "Hey, can we get a Redbone thing?" But I've always kind of been, at a distance, and man, I'm finally letting go of compartmentalizing. I'm learning that, man, could open up to things, but I've in my past, I've kind of,
Yeah, I think when the deal were honored at the BET Awards, and you had L.A. Reid on the drums,
which is crazy.
So you can and then they was playing, and so then you had the deal all singing, and L.A. was just playing the drums for hours,
which is so dope,
and Face was doing his thing. But it wasn't like, okay, now LA's not on tour. But what it does is like, wow, we forget about this.
Yeah,
the original guys back.
You're right.
So even if Redbone kind of came for the launch of your foundation to play a set, and you have your guest singers coming in, Donnell coming in to sing a song, and Jeff and Buddy singing.
Oh, they'd be glad to. I'll call my brother Christopher Williams. Chris, I'm Christopher Williams fan, but he's also my homie, because I can sing. I will call everybody, and they'll show Mary Brown. Mary sent me the most beautiful message. Did you guys connected, correct?
Yeah, she's been really, really busy. So, hopefully.
Well, y'all will connect.
Yeah, we are connected.
Okay, well, she sent me the most beautiful message regarding the first book, and you know, we talk music. Like, she's ready to go, and I think she's gonna. I don't want to speak for her, so I don't want to say, but I'll just say this: there are a lot of things that are bubbling that can bubble over the top. It just takes, one or two people to do it. Even just the idea, like what you said, is actually a pretty good idea. So don't be surprised if I holler at Bob after this. All right, Bob, what are we doing? Maybe I could call on Father, who was that was the dude. That's your friend, Father MC, and that's Bob's dude. Man, he was my hip hop hero when I was first trying to put that R&B hip hop flavor, and I heard that Treat 'Em Right with Jodeci. That was it for me. So, but I can call on him now. Like, I can call on these people. They'll show up for this, and especially for this cause.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but
Nambi, you're gonna have to help me produce.
But
man.
the house band has to be Redbone. So
you're right.
That's the house band.
You're
and
right.
Anyone else performs, and so that's getting your brothers, you and your brothers to support that, and then everyone else jumps in, and then that's the foundation, and you guys headline and close it out. So do some Coldplay kind of.
Okay, y'all heard it first here, right on Halftime Chat, Namdi Show. We are going to do something big and beautiful and special. I'm calling on all my people. Y'all know I don't ask for nothing. Y'all gonna show up. But my brothers, I'm gonna work on that. Namdi's gonna produce it. It's gonna be a worldwide phenomenon.
It definitely.
Meantime, just get the books.
Yeah.
Oops. Drop the stuff. This is live, baby. Get the books. Oh wait, I did it wrong. The books.
Okay. Wow. Well, definitely, Mookie. It's definitely great to see, and as I said, as this video is out, it's the link to everything is the letters to my son Rōman, and you can get it on Amazon.
Yes.
Or definitely, if you go onto the happyhasbeen.com/shop, you'll be able to see both books.
Yes.
And I'm sure the third book, which will be individually written about his other 4 children, just that they don't feel.
Hey, listen, there's going to be a third book, and they're going to write it, and we're going to write it together, and it's going to be them roasting a championship roasting book, and I'm here for it, man. Whatever it takes, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's gonna. If it wasn't going to happen before, it's going to happen now. Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate you.
But yeah, so and then also hopefully we can get some when he launches the foundation, he'll let us know with that.
Eddie I need all y'all.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know Eddie, because Eddie came on.
That was greatness
6 weeks ago, but he still wants to save his own individual halftime chat to when he's ready to launch the Eddie F
Presents. Woo!
Yeah.
But it'll be worth it. Listen, me, Buddy, all us, we have conversations. I remember I was with Buddy, and this will be the last time I say it, when I was on the New York tour for the book. Eddie, I mean, he is the quiet yet most fiercest advocate. So he called us. Me and Buddy was together. We're driving from Queens or wherever we was at, and was kind of filling us in on some things about to happen. And we're sitting here we're like, come on, Ed. But the truth is, nobody knows better how to implement from a musical standpoint, but particularly from a branding, marketing, unveiling standpoint than Eddie. He's done it for decades and done it well, and that's why he's the GOAT, the legend. So I just trust him. I want him to come on, Eddie. I love you. You're my brother. Let's get it started. You have a song, and it's called, let's get it started. Let's get it started. Okay.
Yeah. So
it's gonna happen.
Yeah. So I mean, we're hoping for big things this year. So, but look, anytime. Yeah, as I said, this was people.
Thank you, man.
Because normally, this was
my fault. I'm the one. I said, hey, Namdi, the book is out early. It's doing well. There's no more later. Can we do this? And Namdi said, man, let's go. So I love you, brother. I appreciate you. And all seriousness, this is the most important project of my life movement going forward. I'm going to do this for the rest of my life, period. And what I don't know, anyone out there, Join us in this. This is not a me thing at all. It's the opposite. I just need resources. So, whatever they are, some of it's money, some of it's experience, some of it's access, whatever you have in the world of the spectrum, autism. Let's go together, man. And we can move the needle. It can happen. I've seen it happen before, especially in the music world. My music people can move they can move the crowd. So let's do this.
Well, I know that Faith Evans has spoken about her child having autism.
Yes.
Mila from 702, and we had when I interviewed her, we spent the first hour talking about the challenges she and Music Soul Child had when their son was born with autism and nonverbal as well, and the challenges she has. And I know Sean Stockman of Boys to Men has spoken about his son.
We might need to do a collective here. I mean, you're the crux, man. So we'll talk offline. No, I mean, you're great. I mean, the thing is, man, people love you. It's when I let them know, and I've watched you, by the way, I've watched your progression over the years, man. You're the dude. There's nobody who don't want to come on halftime. I'm like, oh, here I am. Okay, you go talk to little old Mookie and try to appreciate you. But this is, I appreciate this platform for this reason, because all the books, the music, it's my heart, but my heart is these children, not just mine, but those who can't speak for themselves. I got a big voice, so I'm going to do it. And so do many of us in our community, this beautiful R&B music community. So I'm issuing a call to action. Let's do a little something together, man.
Yeah. So just before you leave, can you just hold up your book and tell people where they can get it?
Please. So first is the new number one book, Letters to My Son Rōman, Love on the Spectrum. You can get it at Amazon easily. Click, send, you'll have it. And you can also go to my website where that'll be. And of course, the OG from January, The Happy Has Been, also number one on multiple charts. I mean, we're just getting started. Like I said, children's books in the works, podcast, we're doing it all. I'm not going to challenge you on the podcast, Namdi, but we got to do something. We got to have a voice too over here. But we're going to do a lot. And yes, music is coming. So
yes, and we shout out to Tanya. She's still awake.
Love you, Tanya. Thank you.
2 minutes to midnight out in her neck of the woods, but
that's my girl.
That's okay. My homie. Well, it was great, short notice, but it was great, and we'll definitely getting back in touch when next as well.
Perfect. Thank you, Namdi. Love you, brother. I'm right here, man. I'm right here. Let's do it. Appreciate you.